Hmm. The interface changed, and now it's kind of badly positioned. I can't have chat and the preview on the screen at the same time. I would need a third screen for that. Or I could maybe. Oh no, that doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. It used to be aligned to the side here. Maybe I can use. You know what? Let me edit the CSS live. Inspect. Let me inspect element this stuff. It's probably not gonna. That's that diff with the right here. Orient horizontal. Flex direction. Left. Is it east? Nope. Sure. It's not flex direction. I don't exactly remember which I would need to change for this. Um, Line items. Here we go. Yes, there we go. That's what I want. Perfect. Okay. Right. And audio. And here we are again. I don't have that. I think, yeah, right. I've done some changes. I've added this and I've started some enchanting. I had the spawner for a while already, but I just I wanted it for the blaze words, but I didn't know that basically automatic killing doesn't drop the items from these. So the circular saw thing I had set up upstairs, which was killing them, was really only making noise and nothing else. So I changed that to a whole conveyor belt setup, and that's funneling them down into this hole. Where they just slowly float to the bottom, and I have no idea what's happening to them as I stab them to death. Unfortunately, I did not know what Knowledge of the Ages does, and so a bunch of the drops are getting lost into experience, but that's fine by me because I really don't need that many blaze rods. It's only really an issue when I go over to my cow and sheep farm and try to kill them for leather. But yeah, let me show the setup real quick. I've got it up here, pass the portal. That's basically it. I specifically installed Apotheosis just for the spawner options, only to find out that they didn't work, and I couldn't make anything act like player kills. Uh, this system is pretty much perfect, except sometimes they do get stuck on each other at the end there. Yeah, I've also begun, and oops, where is it? Yeah, enchanting stuff. Some things I got from wandering traders, which with Apotheosis are a little bit worth it, because they do sometimes have highly enchanted items, they sell for whole stacks of diamonds and emeralds. This one, yeah, this one, if I had a glue factory and if we've made glue, that's where you would go. But, you know, other than that, it's pretty good. Anyways, I have decided to work a little bit more on above users, and basically I am now working on getting a tool that will make it a lot easier for me to farm ghasts. I'm gonna forget these in my inventory and go upstairs to build that. That's all in my head, all in my head, all in my head. Hold on. Okay. So, I want to make a wand of symmetry. We'll need obsidian, brass ingots, this precision mechanism I just made, and the pearl and glass. I've got glass right here. I do think I have an ender pearl. At least one, yeah. There we go. Obsidian, also. I don't have brass, I'm not in that form. I do. Anything I'm missing? Nope, that's about it. Right, I do have assemblers upstairs. I can just throw them in there so I rearrange them. And flip a lever, or press a button, whichever I did. Um, mm, I think that should work. Let's compare. It's good. There we go. Now this is an amazing tool. Let's see. I can place a mirror. Octagonal. And then this makes building incredibly easy. So, thank fuck I didn't do vein mining on this. That would have been a catastrophe. Anyways, so here's the plan. Everything goes except for this. Because I'm gonna be building with concrete. The basic idea is I keep getting grass that fall that are above lava. And when I kill them, I get nothing. Maybe I should not make with this with white concrete, but that is what I have most of. So I'm gonna go like out to the middle of the lava lake here. And start covering it. Like above that little island over there, I think. Would be good. Yeah. Since I'm here. Yeah, that looks better. It's also gonna reduce the chances of me falling into lava, which so far, surprisingly, has not happened. I mean, like, I did fall into lava a few times, but not in the big lake. Which is really quite something. Alright. Now, this is actually gonna use the blocks, so that's why I'm using a lot faster than I would normally. I think it is also gonna change breaking blocks. I'm not too sure though. Let's see. Uh, yep. Oh, it's gonna be actually really useful for mining, maybe. Let's not use it with vein mining, just in case. Well, for one, I am standing on the soul block that it would mine, and for another, it may crash. So yeah, this is the closest I have to a magic wand, like a magic building wand, that you would normally use for this kind of thing. And I figured since I do already have this device, I may as well use this instead of installing another mod just for having something. The perils of making a kitchen sink pack that's meant to be limited in scope. You decide what scope is. And it can quickly get out of control, so yeah, if I wasn't worried about griefing, I would also install some kind of random horror mod, but all of them are either insta-kill screaming monsters or stalking you, but also breaking blocks, and I'm pretty sure most of them will not honor the mob griefing rule, which is less of a rule and more of a suggestion, I would guess. Like, if a mod developer wants a mod to break blocks, it will probably break blocks, and no matter what. Oops. Yeah, even with this being white, I think I should be able to notice any gas tear falling on this. I mean, the experience is also going to show me where something fell, so it's going to be fine. Why am I glad I don't care about losing any concrete? Not that I have so far, as far as I'm aware. I've been thinking about doing a non-fiction work. Would probably make use some of the super cool connections I managed to make to like I wouldn't put it on my main channel or something. I've been thinking about that dinosaur one. Cajun Hawks, I think is the name of the guy. Something like that. And I kind of want to make something similar. Oh, yeah, of course, it's gonna also spawn other things. Not about dinosaurs, but about a game that doesn't actually exist. And in the form of an Easter egg hunt. Like a, hey, look at this cool Easter egg I found, and it turns out it's not an Easter egg, it's something spooky happening. I am pretty strong in my opinions on fiction. Mostly because whenever they have been challenged, it was not done very cleverly. Like, you know, that basically caused me to lose respect in a lot of people the way my opinions on fiction have been challenged. Because, just because of how the argument was made and what the base argument even was. Which is basically, so a bunch of people sat in a room and said, this is how things are, and that means this is how things are for everyone all the time. And if you disagree, not only are you incorrect, you're also stupid incorrect. And bad opener, terrible continuation, hasn't hooked me really. Now they were a lot more polite about that kind of thing, but basically the idea was horror media needs to have a point. That's the thesis they had. And my opinion was, if horror media has a point, it shouldn't supersede the logic of the story. Like, let's say you have a zombie horror, and whatever your point is you want to convey is something that, for whatever reason, requires Act 3 to be about the moon falling from the sky. And you can't really make that work with zombies, So you really have two options if you want your story to be good, and a third option if you don't want your story to be good. And I was lamenting people choosing the third option. So the two good options are, you make another point where the moon doesn't have to fall from the sky, or you make the story not about zombies, but about something that would make the moon fall from the sky. The bad option, the third option, is you make the moon fall from the sky despite it not making any sense. And that's what I am not really in favor of. And that's all I said. And that got me, well, I'm not sure if they were angry. But when I didn't agree with them, pretty sure they were angry then. It was all in text, so intention difficult to convey over text. But when I made my point, it wasn't engaged with in any way. Which, when somebody is talking about academic definitions, it does sound like somebody who would either be or at least pretend to be intelligent and not even trying to engage with my point in that situation doesn't give either impression. So either they were not intelligent or they were too angry to care about appearing intelligent. So that's why I got the impression that they were angry, because, I don't want to call them stupid, so I'm gonna say they were probably angry. It's me being nice in that particular circumstance. It was also very, very nicely a situation where a bunch of people suddenly appeared who all had the same opinion and all thought that because I didn't have that opinion, I was being stupid. So, it wasn't a very nice experience. If I am somehow wrong about that, the easiest way of solving that issue would be to convince me, and no effort of the sort was made, giving me the impression that maybe the issue wasn't my opinion, but how much money they spent on getting theirs. Which does suck, but doesn't have to be my issue. Yeah, that's how I got mine for free. And pretty content with what I've done with it so far. Gotta say, actually, I put knockback on it by accident, but it's starting to grow on me. If I had, the security of knowing that I wouldn't get blown up constantly, I would probably use create deployers on a windmill to make this big circle. Like how I did the perimeter. I'm pumping out all the water back on the overworld. And I'm pretty sure that would just constantly get me exploded. And this way, that's not gonna happen. Okay. So, looking pretty good. I'm thinking yellow border. Look at how fast I'm already. This wand is honestly the perfect middle ground. If Mojang added it, it would probably cost Phantom Membranes to use. That is not a compliment. No, actually it would be, because then at least Phantom Membranes would have more than one use. Really, oh my god, I just looked at the map. Such a great circle. I'm a great artist. You want, no, I meant to make a slightly rounded cube. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, so there's missing blocks over here, probably because it's going into this string. Yeah. Oh, missing blocks. Okay. So I got my magma cube farm, but what about gas? No. Well, if they ever were to appear over this area, their drops wouldn't fall to the lava anymore. And that's about all I wanted for this exercise. And regardless, I had this. Oh yes! I was ranting about that experience I had one time. And I forgot what I wanted to go into with that. Okay, yeah. The reason I said all that is because I really hate when a horror story ends in a ghost story. Because the main character has awakened some sad ghost, or is sad because of ghosts, or, you know, man, the real monster was humans all along, or, that kind of thing. I hate that kind of plot twist, because I feel like it's been overdone, and it's been done well a few times, and then it's been redone in the exact same way 100 times. And so, after a while, imitation stops being flattering, I feel. Like, really, we do not need 200 different versions of Ebenezer Scrooge and the 3 fucking time travel ghosts. Let's settle at 50 maybe. Let's pick a good 50 and maybe just ignore the rest. Like if I were to watch 2 remakes of that story, movie remakes specifically, not stories, not comics, which I've also read a few of. If I were to do that, I would die before I get to the end. If I were to watch 2 of them each Christmas. So, same with stories where something supernatural happens and it turns out it's because the main character is sad, or a sad ghost is haunting them, or they need to let go of their past, that kind of thing. Instead of something spooky maybe just happening for its own sake, or because it's creepy, or hell, because, oh shit, a gate to another world is opening, and this is the first big thing that's happening, for some reason. That's what I would rather see. The reason I'm saying that is, I do not want to spoil the story, but the story recently has ended. And the ending of that story is the main character should just let go of the past. And all the questions I had about why the things in the story were happening have not been answered, because the point of the story was not to answer any of those questions. Except a big part of the story is specifically about making fun about ghost stories being the point. Like a sad ghost being the point. Like, oh man, isn't it silly that this other person is looking at this and seeing a ghost when it's really a supernatural or maybe a technological thing. That was the whole arc of the story, was about that. About making fun of that. And then the story itself goes back to it and says, actually, yeah, it was sad memory ghosts. And I was just so frustrated. Because the story up until then, presentation, delivery, fucking writing, music, everything was perfect. Everything. It's so amazing. It's still amazing. It's just the ending fucking blows. In my opinion. And that is my opinion. And it's my opinion about a personal feeling about the plot of the story. Meaning, it's not neither correct nor incorrect. It's just my opinion. But damn if I'm not solid in it. I don't think anything... Like, if that is actually the point. Like, if that ghost situation is actually the point, the author themselves could come back and explain all the other stuff maybe to me. I would still hate that ending. Because I just hate that kind of ending. Because, I like exploring worlds that don't or can't exist. That's why I play games. That's why I write stories. That's what I dream about, literally. I love dreaming. I have not stopped having nightmares. Because nightmares have started having me. Not because I'm lucid dreaming. But because basically, it's impossible for me to get afraid of anything that's happening in a nightmare. It's still the same thing happening. I'm just not afraid of it anymore because holy shit, there's so much crazy stuff happening. One time I was like solving interdimensional world-destroying catastrophes. And when I was retiring and I decided I don't want to... Oh, Ghast, finally. Maybe, yeah. Whoops. Oh, that's gonna be an issue. Yeah, let me move back a bit. One time I was solving interdimensional... I turned off mob briefing. I swear I turned off mob briefing. I swear I had... Okay. Guess I'm fixing this here while I'm in peaceful. Okay, so I guess back to... I'm not playing Speed with Ghasts. Not while it's lagging. Okay, yeah. One time I had a dream where I was basically solving interdimensional catastrophes before they happened. Because randomly portals started opening to other dimensions. And by them just being there, things were going wrong because, other dimensions don't exactly work by our rules all the time. And so some of those rules were being broken in destructive ways, and sometimes something infectious came over. Like, zombie plagues, or like some kind of weird material that takes over other material, like some kind of super, what's it called? Atomic spaghetti, nuclear spaghetti, or what's it? Exotic matter, that's what it's called in that one Kurzgesagt video. And I was basically in that dream one of the people who was selected, or I don't exactly know how I got into the position, but I was basically taking care of making sure that those things don't cross over into our world too much, because basically they get one infected world and that's it. Like if something is that infectious, it can't go out into the multiverse. It can keep the world it had started in, but it can't go beyond that. Because if that were to happen, the whole multiverse would just be a big, chaotic rock, paper, scissors, Giga war, and that's not fun for anybody involved, even those who are waging it. There's always gonna be a bigger fish. And I don't know, for some reason, somehow it worked out that people could resist those, and I was part of the resistance, basically. And it wasn't like a small resistance, it was the whole organizational thing. And, it's a dangerous job, and so people sometimes die. And basically, I died about 4 or 5 times, but they have revival technology or magic or something like that. And, dang. On one time, like a 5th time, I decided I don't want all my memory to completely be returned to me. I would rather just have my diary and retire. Which I did. Which was pretty easy and all that. And so, I got all that done, and then I just went to a class reunion and talked about my job, my former job, from what I know about my diary. And I think it was moving towards something else, but then I sadly woke up. So, I fucking love experiencing that. And there's no message in that. There's no purpose in that. I specifically refuse to let anybody analyze my dreams, because when they do, they add a purpose to it that's beyond what I see in it, which is, holy shit, that was fucking awesome. Which it was. So, that's what I want from fiction. I want it to be fucking awesome. And not just for the sake of being awesome, but because of how it is being awesome. I want complexity. I want intrigue. I want world building. I don't want things to just be like motorcycles, fire, sharks, lasers, whatever. I want it to make sense, internal sense. But I want the internal sense to be, yeah, it makes sense that this shit is awesome as fuck. So, that's what I'm looking for in fiction. And so when it's all just, oh no, by the way, it's a sad ghost in the machine, and that sad ghost wants you to leave it alone, so you should just, stop getting answers. That blows. It really blows. Imagine if I didn't have this fucking thing. Probably maybe get my armor back on. Yeah, but that's mending. I have gold boots which don't have mending, which I'm not using because they don't have mending. Yep. I should use this in my health band. When I heal, it heals because it has life mending. That means when I take damage, I then... Did I vaporize that thing? What happened? No, okay. That was good. Yeah, so basically whenever I heal, this has a chance of healing instead. Normal mending would be better, a lot better, like massively. And I'm pretty sure the additional level doesn't change anything about how it works. Like, let's see. Oh no, it does heal 2 instead. But, that's good for an armor piece, maybe. Okay, wait. Oh no. Okay, that explains that. Alrighty then. What dropped over here? That's just more experience. Oh no, that's an item. That is funny. I didn't think, I just kind of smashed stuff together as far as my levels. Okay, goodbye then. Wow. As far as my levels went, and apparently that resulted in rebounding 10. Okay. If I had the right armor combo, I could probably just stand still in the middle of nowhere. I also did a funny and added, what's it called? Water breathing. No, aqua affinity is it? Respiration. To the helmet that's giving me respiration when I have an air tank. I guess if it runs out ever, I would have a lot more left. Like it would drop a lot slower. Unfortunately, that's got the durability of gold, and so, yeah. Can I fucking ghast spawn, maybe? That should be a lot better. Maybe. Now, if that was really funny, I would have made this whole thing hoppers, but you know, I feel like that's probably gonna result some issues for me. What does this tunnel lead to? It's been a while since I went down here. Ah, that's it. Apparently, yeah, this area. Fuck all. Nothing. Okay. Let me make use of the other thing I can do with this. Just give it a try. Whoop. Yep, that's done. So it does work with vein mining. That is definitely interesting. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be you know, extending the vein mining over the distance. Like, it's not gonna have a new shape over in that corner. It's just gonna mine the exact same shape over there. Dang. Yeah. This isn't some great tool, I don't know. Because, you know, just for building alone, it's already huge. This just elevates so much. Mm. Yeah, anyways, so my story, I'm starting basically with the reason it all exists. I'm thinking about that right now. I've already got like a bunch of cool scenes I would want in the story, but what's more important to me is the world the story exists in, and so I'm working on figuring out a good way of, a good way of that being, you know, what would be a good world for a reason for the strange things to happen. If I don't focus that, I'm running into the risk of repeating those kind of story beats I dislike so much. I really, really don't want that. That's a lot of skeletons. Um, okay, I could talk about what the story is, but it feels like when it's not written yet, that just feels, you know, a little bit premature. Don't like that idea. I did at least I did start making some renders for the idea. Like, of course, it's gonna be video game based, so it's gonna be a fake video game of some sort. And I started working on, building the world, but the one idea for world building I have isn't quite solid yet. I may need to brainstorm something there. I did also try inviting some people to it, but they are all pretty busy having their own projects. Like, I could easily it's really weird, like, being in the position I'm in. I have I wouldn't say I'm not doing a lot of art, but I'm definitely not doing as much art as these people are doing, and I'm definitely not professionally on the same level as these people. But at the same time, I'm still welcome, which is really nice. And so what's happened is I've been able to playtest a bunch of games before they came out and give feedback on stuff. While I haven't signed anything, I'm not gonna go into specifics about that for now, but just a bunch of really cool indie games. And it was just playtesting, so nothing huge has happened. But it's huge to me, right? Which is almost as good as something really huge happening. Hey, go flying. Oh, dang it. The exact distance doesn't really matter, it just matters where it meets. That's right here. That's more when flying, I think. You know what would be funny? If combat also were mirrored. Doesn't look like it though. Very, that guy just spawned there, but no, I think he drops down from above. And what I was gonna say about the indie game situation I'm in is I could very easily get somebody to probably I'm guessing I would probably get somebody to shut it up pretty easily. But what I'm mostly looking for is to just not do it all by myself. Because if I do it all by myself, I can almost guarantee it I'm not gonna do it to the end. It's happened so many times for me. And I kind of want this to be a big thing I finish finally. I've done a lot of small things, tons of small things, but I want this to be a big thing. and I want it to be finished. And so I'm gonna need that help. Somebody who's there alongside me who's gonna say, hey man, what's the status of this thing? Or did you do this thing yet? You know, because if I don't have that, it's probably not gonna happen. And I did have somebody, quote unquote, confirm that they would look into seeing if they could help with that, but they've been busy and haven't unconfirmed, but also have yet to confirm that they have the time finally. And it's one of those really uncomfortable situations where it's, they are probably just as forgetful as I am, because they have, mentioned being very forgetful about that kind of thing. And still, I don't want to keep asking and asking and asking. And so I'm just asking once or twice. And I'm just kind of stuck here. I didn't stop producing, but I sort of stopped working on that outline for the world building. Oh god, the enemy is probably getting teleported to a fucking Valhalla whenever he touches me. I may need to get rid of the pants. I also need to get some sharpness on the sword. Let's go for that one. Gone. Erased. You again. Did I put out of render distance or something? That's gonna be annoying. Suddenly it's not a problem. Realize I should probably... Hmm? I should check those. Wait, I forgot to say pings were on my end. Oh no. Is it? Is that a new one? Hold on. A month ago. It's the seahorse thing. Music muted. Yep, no, it's still seahorse thing. And you know. Yep. Good old ChatGPT seahorse thing. Uh um, I wanna put it okay. Nope. No 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 no. Oh, come on. Oh, I need to heal again. Okay. Oh, stop glowing. Doesn't that mean it's basically not gonna give? Nope. No 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 no. Okay. Okay. Now, can Wisdom of the Ages remove those kinds of drops or just regular drops? Because if it can remove both the other specific drops, which would make sense if that's the mod it comes from, I may have just deleted whatever it would have given me. Which would be, just cool. Just great. Oh. Is it flying all the way away from the platform right now? Does it not fucking see me anymore? Am I gonna get mad? First off, no. Oh. You see me. See me. Witness me. Observe. Another one. Also away from the platform. Oh, I feel great about this. Oh no, it's not moving closer, it's just gonna stop me seeing me. Do they even move closer to you? They probably don't, right? That's what this is. They have no concept of approaching at all. Hell, they may even have a thing about flying away. Yeah, that one doesn't even see me anymore. Now that keeps a arrow in, but holding it. Why is that not hitting the magma cube? Okay, that makes sense because I fucking blew it into the stratosphere through the Nether roof. I think I need to look up what it means to go ghast hunting. Effective ghast hunting. I don't want to farm them really. I don't want it to be like I don't want to need to use some pseudo